Christmas 2 years ago, my brother and his wife gave me this book to read, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Essentially, it is a post-cyberpunk 1980s pop culture nostalgic hard science fiction thriller with a story very much in similar vein to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl and Citizen Kane by Orson Welles. In many notable critiques, it's actually been more compared to the former than the latter. They gave me the book because, 1, being a science fiction fan and a pop culture junkie, this is something I would most likely get into, and 2, they wanted to prepare me for the movie by Steven Spielberg that was released just this week. Both book and movie are treasure hunt adventures about a Willy Wonka / Charles Foster Kane type character named James Halliday, portrayed in the movie by Mark Rylance, who, before his untimely death, made a quest for an Easter egg that is a hidden treasure in his greatest creation, the MMORPG universe known as the Oasis, which is where everyone escapes to after the general collapse of civilization. The winner receives complete and total ownership of his company, Gregarious Games, and of course, the Oasis. Oddly enough, with the MacGuffin of the story being a software Easter egg, this makes for a very interesting movie to release at around the Easter holiday season. Still, I guess it could have been worse. Spielberg could have done a remake to Peter Cottontail. Those searching for the egg are divided into two factions. The Gunters, which is the story's universe-shortening slang for egg hunters. These are the independent individual players seeking the egg. Then there are the Sixers, those who work for the evil megacorporation Innovative Online Industries, IOI for short, who seek the egg to take over both Gregarious Games as well as the Oasis. The lead protagonist of the story is Wade Watts, portrayed by Ty Sheridan, whose avatar in the Oasis is known as Parsival. He's in a team of Gunters known as the High Five, or the top 5 scoreholders of the game, who set out to stop Nolan Sorrento, portrayed by Ben Mendelsohn, the CEO of IOI. Okay, so even though Ernest Cline did aid in the writing of the screenplay to this adaptation, if you are expecting a complete and faithful adaptation to his original novel, then prepare to be disappointed. The movie is very loosely adapted from the source material it's based on. Not that I'm complaining, though. In most cases, I probably would be, but this is one of many that I make an exception. One reason? The difference in the puzzles. In both book and movie, there are 3 different puzzles that lead to the egg. And in both book and movie, the puzzles are varyingly different. In the movie, the first puzzle is to be solved in a race, whereas in the book, the first puzzle is solved when players compete with a Dungeons & Dragons boss on an arcade game. That's one example, and as much as I would have loved to have seen that translated into the movie, I'm still glad they changed it. Why? Because I like variety. I had already read the book by the time I had seen this movie, so I already knew how, in the book, the puzzles were solved. By introducing new puzzles to us, they gave us new challenges and new clues for us, the viewing audience, to attempt to solve. My personal favorite, in the movie, was the second challenge. Without trying to give too much away, it's something proud movie nerds like yours truly can intellectually tap into. Then there's the places and events. There are various things that happen in the book, and they don't exactly happen in the same order as they do in the movie. For instance, when Wade meets his love interest, Artemis, portrayed by Olivia Cooke, or his other friends from the Oasis. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but there's also things that happen to other characters than they do in the book. And there are things that don't happen at all. Personally, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt because now there's still a reason for people to still read the book. I think if you take the movie and the book and treat both as complete separate entities from each other, both can be enjoyable. I mean, look at the many film adaptations to Dracula by Bram Stoker, or Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, or The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. All of these are examples of literature that have numerous film adaptations, some that are loved by audiences all over, but so very few that are actually faithful to the source material. One thing I would have changed, though, is one choice in the casting decision. I really would have gone with William Atherton as Sorrento, namely because while I was reading the book, that's who I saw as Sorrento. That's because it's a movie that's nostalgic for the 80s, and in the 80s, William Atherton played such a fantastic douchebag characters who you just loved to hate. Don't get me wrong, though. Mendelsohn did a great job and all. But I still feel it was a role meant for Atherton. So that being said, would I recommend the movie? Absolutely. Further recommendation? Read the book. I know it's rather cliche to say this, but... Actually, I'm not going to say that the movie was good, but the book was better. Because both are equally good, as separate entities. Hey, if you enjoyed this, click like and subscribe to view more in the near future. By the way, further announcement, I've accepted a new job. No more do I live in the glamorous life of retail. Now I'm doing something else. As a consequence, I'm changing the format to one entry per month, for the time being. But please, keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, and I'll keep making. I'm Mike, and this has been a Penguins Rock production.